This is Coach Hicks again. In this session, we'll be talking about press man technique and drills. Now, before we start to talk about press technique, there's a couple things that we have to understand, all right? There's different types of man coverage, all right? The first one I put up here is cover one, four-man rush, cover one. So if there's a four-man rush, cover one, you have different leverages. You could be outside leverage with different types of schemes, all right? Now, if you're running a cover one, a dog coverage, with bringing five-man rush, all right, now that may change that cover one a little bit. It may change your technique a little bit. It may change your leverage, all right? Cover zero man coverage. It may change your entire technique. It may change your leverage. And also two-man. Those are just a few, just to name a few of different types of man coverage, all right? So with that being said, there's off man and there's press man. And again, in this session, we'll be talking about the press man part of it. So things that affect technique, all right? So not just the type of coverage that you're playing. Now we've got that decided, what coverage we're playing. Other things that affect the technique are wide receiver splits, all right? Receiver splits. Are they normal? All right? If they have normal splits, we can play certain type of techniques. We can play press technique, all right? Now, if they start to get close, all right, then that may change our technique entirely, all right? If they start to get in stacks, then that may also change our techniques where we're not able to get up and press both receivers, all right? So those things affect the type of technique that we can use when playing man coverage, all right? Situationals also affect man technique. It may be the field zone, all right? You may be backed up, all right, have them coming out, and you may not want to play press technique. You may be in the red zone, and you may change up your technique a little bit the closer you get down to the end zone, all right? Down and distance may affect technique as well. So all of these different things can change your technique based on the situation, based on splits, based on things that the offense presents to the defense at that time, all right? Now, again, before going into talking about the techniques of playing press man, we have to understand the three phases of a route, all right? We must understand that because, again, these things affect technique as well, all right? Phase one is the release phase, right when the ball is snapped, all right? We're up there in the press alignment. We got our parallel stance. This phase one, again, is the release phase, all right? What is that receiver trying to do at the line of scrimmage, all right? Is he a speed release guy, all right? Do you have a guy that when he gets press coverage, does he just speed release to the outside or the inside, all right? Or do you have the guy that comes to balance, all right, and tries to pick a direction to go at the line of scrimmage? So we must understand that in phase one, based on who we're covering, who we're going against, your technique could be affected, all right? Phase two is the stem phase, all right? Now he's released up the field. Now, what do we do on the stem phase in press technique? We'll get to here in a little bit. And then phase three is the top of the route, all right, or the break point, and the point that we must finish, the area that we must be great at when we're playing defensive back. We have to be great at phase three. Now, when playing press man, all phases are important, all right? Don't get me wrong. All phases are important, all right? But I think that if any of these phases has more importance than the other, all right, I think that we have to be able to finish. There will be times where the release phase may not be as good, but we have to be really, really good at phase three, which I'll talk about in the session about making plays and finishing, making plays on the football, all right? But the next one, the release phase is probably just as important, all right? The release phase is very important, and I really do think that if you can win in the release phase, if you can win at the line of scrimmage, then you've eliminated that route, and you give yourself a better chance to make a play in phase three to be able to finish, all right? So, again, all of them are important, all right? The release phase, you can really dominate phase three if you're really, really good at phase one, all right? And if you're not so good at phase one, you have to be even better at phase 3 and finishing at the top of the route. All right, so now let's talk about the release phase in press man. All right, our whole objective when we play press technique is to be disruptive. All right, we want to be disruptive. We want to get up there. We want to disrupt that route. All right, we want to delay that receiver at the line of scrimmage as long as we can. We want to throw off the timing. Again, we want to keep him there as long as possible. We want to widen him. All right, we don't want guys to be able to take free releases up the field. We want to be able to widen him. If he does get up the field, then he has released really, really wide, where that receiver and that quarterback, his timing is not as good. All right. So again, our whole objective, we really, really want to be disruptive. All right. What I teach is mirror kick technique, and our technique in mirror kick, I think, is all about these three things. It's all about eyes. All right. It's all about feet, and it's all about patience. All right, and that's one thing as DBs that we have to understand is patience. All right, we have time. We can be patient. All right, right now, being in a press alignment, we have the dominant position. All right, that receiver is up in a staggered stance. Right now, that's why a lot of them come to balance, because they want to match our stance. All right, so we have the dominant position right now, so we have time to be patient. All right, and it's all about the eyes and the feet, more so than the hands. All right, hands are important, but again, it's more so about eyes and feet. All right, so when we do mirror kick, all right, and I'll just start out here. When we mirror kick, when I'm going against a guy and I'm in the press technique, I have my guys look at the belt buckle of the receiver. All right, so that's where my eyes should be. It should be locked on where the belt buckle is. All right, locked on the belt buckle of that receiver. Again, we have a parallel stance. All right, so our feet should be at shoulder width. Again, we got good bend at the ankle, knees. We got good bend at the hip. We want our shoulders down. We want our eyes up again on the belt buckle. All right, we want our elbows bent. All right, and we want our hands in a position ready to strike that receiver. All right, so we want our wrists slightly cocked. We want our hands up. We don't want them hanging down. We don't want them wide on the outside. Again, we want those elbows back. We want the elbows bent. We want the wrist slightly cocked. Hands are in a ready position, ready to strike that receiver. All right. Again, it's about eyes and feet. All right. Weight should be on the balls of my feet. I should be able to step either direction when we use this mirror kick technique. All right. Now, preferably, I prefer for that corner, all right, when he's in that press technique, if he's taking a ready step, what I call a ready step, all right, I prefer him to take the step to his leverage. All right. And the reason why is because if I have leverage on a guy, if I'm inside leverage, I don't want to step opposite of my leverage and now give the receiver a two-way go. So what I teach, they're taking that ready step, it should be with the leverage side foot just to get my feet going, and I want those feet active and quiet, all right? Active and quiet. We don't want loud feet. We don't want them stomping. We don't want our feet coming too far off the ground, but we do want our feet moving. We want them active, but we want really quiet feet where we can redirect and go either way, all right? This drill here is what I call quick releases, all right? And it's a really good drill. I like this drill. The players like this drill, quick releases. And again, we must be really good at lateral quickness, all right? We got to have lateral quickness. So this drill, it really focuses on lateral quickness, all right? And not only lateral quickness, it does help with the mirror part of the mirror kick technique. You can see I got agiles right here laying on the ground, all right? And I just create a little chute. I got two lines of receivers, all right? I put the DBs in two lines, and then I get one guy out to be right in front of that agile, all right? And when we're using this mirror kick technique, all right, I have them start 1.5 yards off of that receiver, all right? So we'll be 1.5 yards off to give ourselves a little bit of distance, all right? One, because we can be patient, all right? We can be patient when we are 1.5 yards off. And I don't want to crowd the line too much, because now if there is an error, all right, I give myself no room for it if I crowd the line too much, all right? So this is a good technique to use, especially when you got a guy that you worry about being offside. You know, your guys are not offsides when using this technique because we are 1.5 yards off. All All right. So now the mirror part of the mirror kick technique, I'm mirroring, all right, whichever direction that receiver starts to go. All right. I want to mirror him. If he goes to my right, then I should mirror him. I should step and replace to my right. All right. If he goes to my left, I should step and replace to my left. All right. In the footwork and change of direction session, we talked about stepping and replacing, not clicking the heels. All right. This is the same in this press technique, in this mirror kick technique. We never want to click our heels, because if we click our heels, all right, now we're not able to change direction. So we want to keep our feet apart, be able to step and replace, and be able to redirect either way. All right. So that's the mirror part of it. Now, the kick part of the drill, of the technique, when we kick, all right, now this receiver has declared. All right. So if he's declared to go to my right, he's made a decision now, he's coming to my right. The kick part of it, I want to take one more lateral step. I want to force myself to stay as square as I can. All right. Stay as square as possible. And now I want to throw the offhand. So if I offhand jam, all right, now I give myself a chance to open my hips and run. All right. We don't want to throw the near hand, because now my hips are locked. All right. I can't open up and run. So I want to throw the offhand. I want to offhand jam. All right. And as you can see, all right, I got my thumb up. All right. So I always emphasize, when I'm throwing the offhand, I want my thumb up. I'm aiming for that near breastplate. All right. I'm aiming for the near breastplate of that receiver. So if the receiver releases to my right, all right, I throw my left hand and I'm aiming for his right pec. All right. Aiming for his right pec. Thumbs up. I want to be able to throw it into the breastplate, because now if he does try to give me a counter release, what I call a counter release, all right, now I have control of him. All right. If I aim for the opposite pec, it's easy for him to knock my hand down and now counter release me. All right. So I want to aim for the near pec. If he tries to come back, then we execute what I call switch back. All right. So here, and again, in this quick releases drill, this drill is focusing on the lateral quickness, all right, of the DB, being laterally quick and being able to recognize. It really puts them in a tough position, because you do have two guys that you have to see right there. All right. Again, I got two lines going at one time. When one guy goes, I'm standing behind. All right. As one guy goes, the next guy in line should come up and replace him. All right. And the next guy should come up and replace him again. I usually give them three. All right. I give them three opportunities in it. So the first guy will release. All right. So we should execute the mirror kick. All right. The DB should come back. The second time, he should execute the mirror kick. He should come back. And on the third release, he should continue to run and start to squeeze, what I call squeeze and react. All right. So here's a look at the drill. You can see the parallel stance here. Again, making sure we don't back up. Always tell them, hey, if I'm on the edge of a cliff, all right, if I'm on the edge of a cliff, a 50-foot cliff, all right, and I take a peek back, if I drop back, all right, then I'm done. I don't give myself a chance to win there. So we should not back up. That's the reason I put the agiles right back behind their heels. All right. But he executes the mirror kick technique. Again, we want the receiver to widen. All right. If we can get him this wide on the release, we give ourselves a really good chance to win that rep. All right. So he should return. All right. And I'm pointing. I'm standing behind. I'm pointing. I can have the guy at 28 just go right behind him. All right. But again, mirror kick technique, you can see his feet are active, all right? Feet are quiet. He should kick step, bring the heels together a little bit, all right, but not back. Offhand jam. This drill is really good at enforcing offhand jam, all right? He's releasing to my left. I throw the right hand, all right, and he should be aiming for that near breastplate, all right? And you can see a mirror kick, and on the third one, he should release and, like I said, squeeze and react. But you can see the feet here. This is a really good step and replace. He's not bringing the heels together on this clip right here. This is a much better look at it. All right. Throw the offhand, squeeze and react. All right. One more time, just to show it all together. Quick releases. Working lateral quickness. All right. Here's a cut from the game. So we'll be watching the corner up top here, working this press technique. You can see that the corner up top stays on the cliff. all right? He's not backing up off the cliff. He's got good separation between him and that receiver where he can be patient, all right? And he's executing the mirror kick technique, all right? He's mirroring that receiver. The receiver comes to balance here. Again, he has to match us, all right? We have the advantage being in that press alignment like we are. And he's able to execute a two-hand jam, all right, in this situation. Anytime that receiver comes off the line of scrimmage, if he's releasing into the framework of my body, I do give my guys to execute a two-hand jam, all right, and then it has to become offhand once he declares which direction he's going. And you can see it there up top. Now he gets that left hand out so he can open his hips and run with that receiver. So that's a good look at the release phase part of it, of press. All right, another time here down at the bottom, watching the corner at the bottom. He's got good patience here, not in a hurry. You can see he's not backing up. He's got his eyes on that belt buckle of that receiver. He's in a good stance, good bend at the ankle, knee, and hip. He's got his hands in a strike position, in a ready position there. All right. And again, offhand jam. Now he's squeezing. All right. But again, look at how far that receiver has to get outside. Look how wide he gets before he starts to get upfield. So it's a good job by the corner at the bottom. All right. Now, the stem phase. All right, and in this session, we'll only talk about the release phase and the stem phase, all right, because the finish phase, the top of the route phase, we'll talk about in the finish and make a play session, all right? But in the stem phase, our whole objective now is to get into a control position. We want to be able to get into a position where I own that route, all right? I want to be able to control that route, all right? Now, if there's any separation between the DB and that receiver, so we just work press and that receiver works so wide, all right, there's any space. This is what I mean by he's got to squeeze and react, all right? He's got to squeeze and react. And I like for the guy to be able to see the shoulder, all right, and if there's any space. And the reason why I say that is because we know nowadays with the back shoulder throw, all right, we'll get that right at the line of scrimmage, receiver releases, all right, and they're ready to throw that back shoulder right now. So now I want to be able to see that shoulder and squeeze and react, all right? I want to be able to get to that shoulder to be able to squeeze and react. And to being able to get into a control position is getting into the shoulder of that receiver, feeling him with my shoulder, all right? Looking at the corner up top, not as good on the release phase. The release phase was not good, all right? But he is able to squeeze that route, all right? He is able to squeeze it and react as it goes up the field, all right? So not good in phase one, but phase two and phase three, he does a good job there. All right, watching the corner down at the bottom now, you can see he's got inside leverage, all right? Really good inside leverage here. He got good patience. All right, he mirrors that receiver coming outside. Throw the offhand. He's got to get that right arm out of there. All right, and now he's squeezing. You can see what I mean by squeeze and react now. Squeeze and react, get into a control position. All right, this is a great position to be in this stem phase right here. All right, he's right here. He's seeing the shoulder. You can see it as I stop it right here. All right, and I want to be able to get into that shoulder. All right, I want to feel that shoulder with my shoulder before he can get his eyes back, all right, and he's able to make a good play on the ball there. Another clip here, good patience at the bottom. You can see he's got a little bit of space. Again, we don't have to crowd the line of scrimmage. We don't have to crowd the line of scrimmage to play mirror kick technique. But again, this stem phase, right, he wants to squeeze, get into that shoulder, all right? Get into the shoulder of that receiver right now, all right, and be able to squeeze and react. And those are the press man techniques and drills that I use.